no se oye. Sí, ahora. Bien, decía que muchas gracias, gracias a
Well, thank you so much to INCIBE and everyone who is here and sharing this morning with us, and in this case with the so interesting subject of cybersecurity. And I think cybersecurity has to be aimed at all types of audiences. When I came in, I said people dancing and doing different kinds of sports, and I think, at my age, I'm not even X generation, I'm baby boomer, so I am a bit older. So I would recommend INCIBE to have maybe yoga or Pilates session, malware here, there, you know, and we could learn the vocabulary linked to cybersecurity and then do something which is more adapted to us, because we have two options. People from my generation might say, oof, this is awful, I've got enough with my WhatsApp, and it does what I need to do, and then be happy, and then find that the digital gap becomes bigger and bigger every day, because we are surrounded by technology everywhere, because our fridge has this and that, and things call you, and Mercadona, and then the supermarket comes here and brings coffee to your home. Or you have another option, and you can say, no, I am going to train. But first of all, we need to raise awareness, and secondly, we need to offer training. So at INCIBE in León, I did tell the former manager, and I would like to tell the new director, we need a CyberCamp for seniors. So, having said that, let's start and see why we need that sort of CyberCamp. Sorry, could you tell me where I have to press so the slides change? Could you tell me how this works, please? Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. It was just an excuse to get him closer to me. Oh, well. Well, as I was saying, I'm going to talk about benefits, prejudices, and many other things that we usually think we know, but which are surrounding us, and that people from a generation need to get to know, because at some point you won't even realize that you're not getting your money into the bank, because there are banks which are telling you that you cannot check anything if you don't download the app. And, well, I'll show you what it means for us to download an app. So, first of all, as I was saying, do we have enough knowledge? Does this affect society in the same way, all of society? What do you think? Yes? No? Does it affect all of us? Yeah, right? Then get a move on. And so we'll see that there are tools, because we've been talking about many tools during these days, and these are very specialized tools, but I go piano, and I will tell you the ones I think I should be telling you about. General Omar Bradley, in around 1945, he was the last US general in the Second World War, and said, if we keep developing our technology without knowledge and without prudence, our server could become our killer. And I think that is exactly what's happening right now. Well, what can I tell you about the benefits of communication and IT? Interconnection, flexibility, convergence. You can get surgery, heart surgery. But does someone tell you about the downsides of this? Well, ailments, the amount of ailments, it's so numerous. Superficiality, social isolation. Did you know, by the way, that every 2.5 hours commit suicide in Spain? I'm not saying that this is because of communication technology, but social isolation is very important. Cyber harassment, digital gap. not only people my age, but also people who do not have access to technologies. I am part of an association confederation in Malaga, and the people from Borges who produce racings communicate with very, very rudimentary ways. And now Montoro is saying, our Minister for Taxes, that we need a digital signature for everything. So what happens with people who use very rudimentary ways of communication? What can we do? Raise of pollution, because your fridge and your car and your washing machine and all the things that we use is multiplying the amount of pollution that we have in our world. We're going to have the climate conference in Madrid, and well, we're going to keep using energy in the same way, only because we feel well, because we have that conference taking place here. And then they were saying that there were girls who would get 1 kilo of food for social project for every hour that they went without their phone. And the one who spent the most hours without their phone spent 23 hours, although they did manage to get 400 kilos. Anyway, so there are many things. I have already talked about the digital gap, and I think we have to overcome that. Do you know what social engineering is? Because they don't tell us the truth, because if they say, when they say social, I think about solidarity, about something good. But do you know what social engineering is? Yes, tell it. Exactly. Everything people use to make us believe things which are not. So I've already talked to all the actors concerned on this to change the name, because when I think social, I think of something good. But social engineering is obtaining confidential information by manipulating the legitimate users. And they say that, and that's it, right? No, this is a scam. This is social scam, not social engineering. Well, users are the weakest link, aren't they? And that is why I think we need to talk about that. And how about espionage? The Statistics Institute, who's already checking now where are you going and where you're not going. This is a study that took place last week in Spain. Well, but it doesn't matter. They can follow what you do, because you're not going to say who you are. And they're selling our data for that study. And are we ready for what's coming, or what's already going on? How about phishing? Oh, you already know. Someone calls you, someone sends you an email, or just change your bank password. In my time, this was always in good faith. Oh, the director of the bank has called me. I am very proud. And now you give them their password, and they take all the money from your account. And how about social media? Oh yeah, I've got Facebook. Oh yeah, I use Instagram. I don't use Facebook anymore now. All I use is Instagram. But did you know that the picture of your grandson that you just uploaded is being sold by a man in Australia? No, but it's mine because I uploaded. Well, no, actually it isn't, because you uploaded onto the internet. Anyway, if I came across all those people from Facebook. And how about the cloud? Does anyone know what the cloud is? I have no idea whatsoever. Cloud. It's a trend, isn't it? We're all going towards the cloud. Cloud computing. That sounds so smart. And then they say they're going to give you computing services through the cloud. That you're not going to have to buy anything anymore, because Amazon has everything, Google has everything, all that stuff. All I can say is be very careful with this famous cloud, because there are 50,000 Chinese people getting ready to get everything you're uploading, reading everything, and spreading it amongst themselves. So be careful with the cloud. True, we're not going to do a lot of espionage at my age, but just be careful with the cloud, because at the cloud, they want to get everything connected, all those things, your fridge and everything else. And the more things you open, the more doors you open. You know that if you have two doors, it's very difficult to monitor who's coming in and out your home. So that you've got your doors, your tablet, your phone, your car, your fridge, everything is connected in the cloud. Well, and how about this? This is really pulling your leg. The famous cookie. Cookie. Has it not happened to you that you say, oh, I'm going with my friends to Lisbon to spend the weekend, and you go on the site and you see that the flight costs 100 euros, and you say, oh, I found a ticket for 100 euros. You can find it in this and that web. You go on again, it's 150. But why? It was 100 only half an hour ago. Oh, you know, it's offer and demand. No, it's because they give you a number there on your phone and it's tracking you. Number 7. Where is she now? It's got an iPhone. It's got money. She's in Madrid. Price goes up. Oh, she's with the iPhone, but she doesn't have money anymore. So we put the price down so that she... Oh, she doesn't have battery, I meant. So they put the price down so you buy it. Then they register your behavior. They get information about your behavior. Whatever you download, you've got it there. Oh, and how about apps? I've already mentioned that when talking about banks. It's another way of being spied upon remotely. You download an app to get a torch, and that torch has access to your son's phone. How? Why? So we really need to know how to stop, where we have to set boundaries, and we just want a torch to light up. That's all we want. Because then they have the nerve to say, well, the service is for free, so who is the product? It will be you, right? Why are you complaining? I'm giving you things for free. I was saying to some friends the other day that this reminds me of when I used to go and buy salmon. Because when you bought salmon, they gave you the salmon and then a piece of the head. And I said, oh, I don't want the head, please. But you just want the salmon? Everyone takes a piece of the head. Yeah, no, but I don't mind. I don't mind paying more, but I don't want the head. So to all these engineers and people, I would say, well, make me pay more, but stop spying on me, because I think technology is all very good, but I don't want you to spy on me. Now, so this is just a short introduction, and now let's get into it, because we have viruses that attack worms, Trojans, mutants, blah, blah, whatever. There's a new one every day. This is like olive oil, isn't it? In my time, olive oil was awful, really bad for you, and now it's really good. Well, in my time, hackers were really bad people, and now they're really good people. So the bad people are the crackers. So hacker is good, cracker is bad. See, I'm starting to get to know my stuff. But this is really difficult. Now, how about cyber harassment? This is quite serious, actually. This is one of the biggest threats of the net, and according to the WHO, Spain is one of the countries where there's more cyber harassment. Actually, 70% of girls suffer it, and boys only 30%. But this is something that we really, really need to stop, including cyberbullying, which is I think more for young people. We've got different types. Grooming, which is pretending that people are underage. Sexting, that affects both children and teenagers. You take a picture for your boyfriend, you send it, and you know how this works. Sextortion, well, there are many, many, many types. So if Granny doesn't know about this, then Granny cannot help their grandchildren and help them and show them the way.
And now we're getting to the worst part, access to pornography that young people now have. And this means that women can be harassed. Relationships in Spain have increased incredibly, and 43% with regards to last year in terms of group rape in Spain. So there's sexual abuse and aggressivity, and this is being transmitted as if it were normal, not love and passion. So I think engineers need to find a way of ensuring that pornography does not reach young people so easily. So what about artificial intelligence? Do you think this is male chauvinist or not? So many engineers here, so much silence. Here we have Conchi, she's an expert. What about Edu? What do you think? Yes or no? What do you think out there? I think artificial intelligence, if it learns from the information that it receives, it depends what the world itself is like. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Oh, I went back for a moment. Let me just see. So if you learn a language, and if you learn a language that has been distorted, then that is what you believe in. There are sexist translation systems, such as the Google translation system. We're talking about Turkish, where there is no differentiation between gender, and there are cases of when it says doctor when somebody is actually a nurse. Only 15% in Facebook of artificial intelligence and 10% in Google, and 18% of people going online are actually women in terms of artificial intelligence. So we need to do things to correct this situation, because it will be increasingly male chauvinist. So let's look at what the police have released. It's Biogen regarding violence against women, saying that there will be activities to avoid gender violence, which is increasing, and that there will increase prediction of reoccurring offenders. So this is why it's very, very important that we increasingly have young women who study STEM degrees. And I would like to say something. I would like to say that there was a gentleman who was talking earlier. I don't know if he's here now. But I'd like to point out that apart from the fact that you do a wonderful job here, but we need to do a job, we need to work with the mathematicians and the teachers of maths in Spain. If teachers are bad in Spain, what are you going to achieve if teachers say to you, oh, this is awful, if you're going to be studying this, you're going to spend your whole life studying. And they orient it towards young men, and we have to work with maths teachers in this country in this sense. I think maths is on the increase now, and there's been an increase of women in maths degrees now because it deals a lot with artificial intelligence, and I think this is a point that is growing. And we have magnificent representatives of women and mathematicians and maths in Spain. What I'm saying is that teachers need to be good teachers. That's what I'm trying to say. Because according to a study, one of the big issues that we have in terms of engineering and men and women, this was one of the big issues that came out in a recent study. So if they say so, it must be true. I'm not going to go against that. So we need to help young women in STEM degrees, but we also need to have good teachers. 50 or 80% of professions, depending on who you listen to in the future, we are unaware of currently, but they will all be related to technology. So it's very, very important that we help those algorithms to come out. If you want to study philosophy, you also need to have people with ethics within that field. You need to have people with ethics within cybersecurity and in artificial intelligence. And what about fake news? I'm a journalist. So who's behind this? Political parties, corporations, big companies, and you're being told lies, or they change presidents, or they talk about the Amazon, or different situations in countries, Brexit, the Russians, and so on and so on. This is all around us in our day-to-day. So it's very important to point this out. There are businesses, one in particular, Maldita.es, that deals specifically with this, and it's being attacked continually. We are not machines. Are we happy with everything that we have around us? An expert in positive psychology who said that quantitative measures make sense to machines, but human lives were not created like that. Do we need to earn more money? Do we need to be more famous? Do we need more likes? This is what it creates is stress. We're surrounded about all the things that we could enjoy, but actually what we do and what we end up having is depression and stress and so on and so on. I would suggest that engineers should try and create a less stressful and less quantitative world, a bit more quality. I don't know if that's possible, but I think we would be happier. So a few pieces of advice from my humble opinion. Get in touch with the OSI, the Office for Security for Users of the Internet. Their tools do help you and they encourage you. You need to learn the necessary things about this field. And it's also helpful if somebody is harassing you, because if somebody is harassing you in a normal world, in my opinion, the normal thing to do would be to call the police. I'm being harassed. But they're not going to pay you any attention. They're going to explain that many people make these same calls every day. Is there a telephone number or an email address that I can write to? to talk about this? No, there isn't. No, there really isn't. If you call that number, then what they tell you is that you have to go and make the report. So it's not as easy as it looks. So let's avoid this. Let's have prevention tools. And in INCIBE itself, you can get some information about this. And then you can move forward and talk to the police. So using webcams and covering webcams. I should do this every day because I always walk around at home, perhaps with my clothes on, and I forget about this. And I'm walking around happy. So why should I cover my webcam? But actually, spying through a mobile? What are we talking about here? Oh, they're encouraging you to buy and buy and buy. Now, I've already mentioned this. Passwords. Everybody here will know here, but other people may not. You need to have at least 8 characters, capital letters and numbers and different characters. But once you've done it one time, then somebody else comes along and says something different and changes the idea. So, do what you think is best. I've got a list of all my passwords and so on, and I've got them in a given place. Oh, and sometimes they say, oh, it's got to be encrypted. And then you encrypt it and then you forget it. Okay, so do whatever you can. You've got to concentrate on being happy. So remove all your applications, all the tools that you're not using because they're doors of entry, and they also use up your battery. So maybe you need somebody to help you to do this because you might end up with no mobile at all. Disconnect your Wi-Fi when you leave home and remove all the data. Oh, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this. And sometimes I tried doing it and ended up with no data at all. I thought, who can I call now? Use your common sense, of course. You have to try and encourage people, and these are my conclusions. Cybersecurity might seem something that doesn't affect you, but it does affect us in our day-to-day. We need to get trained, and we need to be aware of what is going on, and we need to teach people about digital devices. We have to integrate and try to progress, and of course we have to close that gender gap. Because as I was saying, cybersecurity is for everyone. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, we've got about 3 minutes, I believe. No? Nobody? You already know a lot about all of this. It's been a pleasure to be here. I would love our Association of Women for Dialogue and Education to offer their support if you are interested in taking the first steps, because we do workshops on emotional intelligence. Because we say, well, if we're going to do talks about business, let's talk about cybersecurity as well. So that's all. Just be happy.